What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Quincy Bell Sports. And today we are going to be doing a very excited and highly anticipated video, in my opinion. I've been excited about this video. We started with a 24-team playoff bracket, and we are down to 2. The last 2 teams left alive in the gauntlet of the Stanley Cup playoffs are the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive deep. Get on your goggles, swimsuit, and we're diving deep. And we're going to be looking through everything that these 2 teams have gone through to get to this point in time and what they're going to need to do to eventually pull off a win in the Stanley Cup. The Dallas Stars haven't been here since, I think, 1999. The Lightning haven't been here since, I think, 2004. Correct me if I'm wrong. Last time both of these teams were here, they both won the Stanley Cup. So that's a positive for both of them. But we're going to go through each team's journey to the Stanley Cup and their strengths and weaknesses throughout said road. Let's start with the Dallas Stars. They were one of the top 4 teams in the Western Conference, so they had to go through the qualifying for seeding. And they didn't have to play in the qualifying round. They got to play in this little round-robin thing for seeding, and so did the Tampa Bay Lightning. They went 1-2 in the qualifying round, losing to Vegas 5-3, getting thrashed by the Avalanche 4-0, and winning against the St. Louis Blues 2-1 in a shootout. And their first round matchup was against the Calgary Flames. Now, the Flames actually played really well in the series. They were up 2-1 after the first 3 games at Edmonton. But game 4, Calgary was up 4-3 with a golden chance to put the game away. 14 seconds to go, down in the last minute, and Denis Gurianov puts the puck in the back of the net to tie the. Actually, no, it was Pavelski puts the puck in the back of the net to tie the game. Calgary's demoralized, and in overtime, Alexander Radulov puts the OT winner home, and they tie up the series. They win a close competitive game in Game 5, 2-1. But in Game 6, it's different. Calgary, they're coming up ready to play. Anderson, Gaudreau, they're coming out with this fire. They're up 3-0 in the first period. But it was all Dallas after that. Miro Heiskanen made it 3-1. And the second, they just lit the roof off the place. Gurianov scored 3 goals in that period. This young forward, He's feisty, he's fast, he can get it done in so many ways. He's going to be a key factor in this series. He actually scored again in the third. Denis Gurianov nets 4 goals on the game, and they win the series against the Calgary Flames. Next, they take on the Colorado Avalanche. They win Game 1 5-3. They win Game 2 5-2. So I'll tell you that what this team has is they score goals in bunches. Benn, Seguin, Pavelski, Radulov, Heiskanen. We'll get to Joel Kiviranta in a minute. But they score goals in bunches, and that's how they've been beating teams throughout this postseason. But Game 3, the Avalanche won 6-4. And then in Game 5, Dallas came back with a win, and they're up 3-1. Game 6, they lose 6-3 to the Avalanche. And then Game 6, you guys know what I meant. They lose to the Stars 4-1, or they lose 4-1. Game 7. This was a dogfight. I streamed for this game. It's 3-3 in the third period. I was about to say in the bottom of the third. In the third period, Vladislav Namestnikov gives Colorado the lead, but it was 10 seconds later, Joel Kiviranta, right off the faceoff, gets a breakaway, gets a dirty little rebound goal to tie the game. We're going to Game 7 overtime, and keep in mind, the Stars lost in Game 7 overtime last year to the St. Louis Blues, and the Blues went on to win the Cup. And it's Joel Kiviranta again in overtime. He snipes on Michael Hutchinson, and the Stars are going to the Western Conference Finals. And in the Western Conference Finals, with that white-hot momentum, say hello to Anton Khudobin. He was the star, no pun intended, in this series against Vegas. The Stars had a pretty poor offensive showing in Game 1. They got doubled in shots, but they win 1-0. Khudobin gets the 36-save shutout. Game 2, they lost 3-0. In Game 3, overtime after a 2-2 game, Alexander Radulov scores 31 seconds into overtime to give them the series lead. They win 2-1 off of another strong goaltending performance from Khudobin so they win 2-1, and then in Game 5, this was another overtime game, and on the power play, Denis Gurianov with an absolute snipe sends the Stars to the playoffs. And I noticed one thing: they are 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. They are 5-0. 4-0, 5-0 if you count their shootout win against the Blues. They are 5-0 in overtime games. That is something that you cannot underestimate. They have been clutch throughout the entire playoffs, and it's a reason why they're here today. Now, let's flip script and talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning. This team was the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. They also got to play in the little round-robin tournament for seeding and didn't have to play in the qualifying round, and they went 2-1 in the qualifying round, beating the Capitals in a shootout, beating the Bruins 3-2, and then getting thrashed by the Islanders 4-1. Then we take you into their first round series against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Should have been the Leafs. I'm salty. They win 3-2 in Game 1 after 5 overtime games. It was a 5-hour-long game, and I had a feeling throughout this entire game. I said, whoever wins this game, they're going to win the entire series. And that's what ended up happening. Columbus actually ended up winning Game 2, but after that, it was all Tampa Bay. They won 3-2 and 2-1 in some close games. And then Game 5 went into overtime, and they won that game off of a Braden Point winner. Braden Point won both overtime games in this series, so that was a clutch performance from him. Columbus is a scrappy team, man. Like, the way they play defense, Seth Jones is a stud. But they do not have time to worry about that because it's on to the Boston Bruins. They lose Game 1, 3-2. But in Game 2, they get an overtime winner, 4-3. Palat scored the OT winner, and they win that game. And then after this, it was all in. They thrashed the Bruins 7-1 in Game 3. They won 3-1 in Game 4, and then in Game 5, in double overtime, they win in overtime. Again, who scored the OT winner? I can't find it. But they win in overtime yet again. They win overtime yet again. Now they're white hot at this point, and they're coming in to face the New York Islanders. And to be completely honest with you, this series wasn't close. I know it went 6, but the Islanders are completely outmatched at every single turn. They lost 8-2 in Game 1. Their defensive style of play did not work. Game 2, it did kind of work, but they still lost 2-1. They won 5-3, but then the Lightning won 4-1, and then they pretty much controlled the series from then on. The Islanders were able to steal a win 2-1, but in overtime in Game 6, Tampa had enough. They had enough playing. Cirelli bangs home the OT winner, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are headed to the Stanley Cup final. Now, I think the big part of it, both of these teams, they score goals in bunches, like huge bunches. There are a ton of games throughout this postseason: 7 goals, 8 goals, 6 goals, 5 goals. It's just both these teams, they score in bunches. It is going to come down to which goaltender can get hot. Literally, Jordan Binnington stole the Blues a cup last year. Like, let's be honest, he stole Game 7. Like, that's totally what ended up happening. The Stars, they are filled with a ton of veterans, but a ton of stunning youth. Their depth, I think, is better than Tampa, if you ask me. Let's see. Denis Gurianov and Corey Perry, a nice right wing tandem. Gurianov, Radulov, Perry are their right wingers. Their left wingers, Jamie Benn, Blake Como, Roop Hintz, Yoel Kiviranta, the emerging postseason star, scored a hat trick in Game 7. Their star centers, Faska, Pavelski, Sagan. That's a great top 3. They have some really good defensemen too. Actually, honestly, that's probably the weakest part of the team. I would, yeah, their defense isn't great. Ben Bishop and his glass legs are out in goaltender, so it's Anton Khudobin time, and he's been a star throughout the Vegas series. He's coming into this series white hot. I think there are some times when a goalie's super hot. Like I remember when Thatcher Demko straight up stole 2 games from that he saved like 90 of 91 shots. Or sometimes when you're facing a goaltender, you're just like, oh, there will be no goals tonight. There will not. On the flip side, we have to take a look at Tampa, and I think their defense is a lot better. I think let's talk about goalies for a second, a little bit more. I think Vasilevsky is a better goaltender all around than Khudobin. Problem is Khudobin is white hot right now. So Vasilevsky's playing really well too, but no one's stopping Khudobin as of late. Their defensemen are definitely a lot better. They got Chernak, McDonough, what's his name? Victor. I mean, they're full of talent. Sorelli, Coleman, Johnson, Point, Stamkos, Gordy, Palat, Kucherov. I mean, they're loaded, dude. They're absolutely loaded. Both of these teams are so evenly matched. But my series prediction is I'm gonna go Stars in 7. Reason being is I think their depth is a lot better. I think they're more complete. 1 to 12 on the forward. Their lines 1 to 4. I think they're more complete on the depth chart for forwards. And their goaltender's playing better right now. This is going to be a tight competitive series. I plan to stream for as many games as possible. But I don't know how many I'm going to be able to do during weekdays. I'll definitely be able to do game 1. So don't worry about that. But this is going to be an exciting series. Let me know who you think in the comments below. Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat throughout this live stream. I'm trying to film this like a video. I just didn't feel like editing. And that's going to be all from me. I hope you guys had a great day. And let me know who you think is going to win this series. It's going to be great. I'm saying Stars in 7.